it was just like that long, hard, all week long, not getting the bites, not, what's wrong with the boat? Wheels bad. We just changed the wheels.
Yeah,
This doesn't.
bearings, this, that, yeah.
Yep. And then just all of a sudden this thing pops up, on a sonar and you chase it down and, it disappears and you're just like watching it. Then it finally comes up on a teaser, switches off on a teaser onto my left flat, my guy on the left flat, just totally rocks it. I mean, he just hooks it up and catch it, it's picture perfect.
And how did it start out? Like, what was the origin story?
Too much alcohol.
Really? Okay.
Says if God wanted us to have fiberglass boats, he would have given us fiberglass trees.
It's for fishermen. It's not for taking the wife and the wife's friends.
I think that it's a really, really pretty boat.
And then there was a blur that went by and ended up in the cockpit, as far as if I can remember correctly.
Welcome everybody to the State of Sportfishing podcast. My name is James Agrone. I'm hosting today's podcast with yours truly, Willie Zimmerman. Before we get started, just want to let you all know, that here we come just to talk like we talk on the dock in the back of the boat, come to have a good time and put a little bit of, thought process into what we want to speak about. So, Willie, tell me about yourself.
Hey, I'm Willie Zimmerman. I'm 44 years old. I'm from Ocean City, Maryland. I've been in the business now for 28 years. I run a 65-foot Guthrie custom Carolina boat called the Rochambeau, docked here in Ocean City. And here we are, man.
Hell yeah. So, Willie, tell me about this, man. I mean, obviously, your name's been up there here recently with all these tournament stuff. And, everybody always knows you're on the grind. But how'd you get started, dude? How did this
I was literally on a charter not even 45 minutes ago. And I was telling one of my customers, they asked me the same exact thing. And I just grew up when I was a kid. My dad fished with friends and we had boats and 8 years old was when I first day I got to go offshore and they're in a tournament and lines were out and it was the end of the tournament and the tuners are busting and they're like, we're going to stay another hour. We got covered up. And they're like, Willie, go over, get on that ride. I sat on the gunnel. I cranked up my first tuna in. Pretty sure that was the end of it there, buddy. I was hooked, line, sinker. And I just grew up. My dad had friends and we had boats and every weekend we went fishing and they're like, hey, bring Willie with you. So I started that way and then I got a job as a dockhand, and then one of the mates bailed, went back to Florida, I think, and I jumped in there, and got the job, and I've been doing it ever since. And I was a mate for 10 years. Now I've been a captain for 18 now.
Hell yeah. It's kind of funny how, when you're starting in this industry, you're always kind of, I wouldn't say just waiting for an opportunity, but you're ready. You're dying for that opportunity to be able to go out there and you as a dockhand, somebody didn't show up.
Yep.
Come on board. Let's get out of there.
Yeah. And that was, I laugh about it now, but it was very terrifying probably when I was 14, man. It was I was used to going with my dad and friends, and now you're on your own, you have to deal with customers and all that stuff. But it's something I've been doing. I had the opportunity to go to college and I kind of told my parents I waste your money. I don't want to do that when I fish. And I tell a story all the time. My mom always like, you need a real job. You need a real job. Like, Mom, you don't understand. These people are making more money than, working on these boats than they are sitting in behind a cubicle, and getting healthcare, private boats and stuff. I said, it's a decent job. She kept saying, you need a real job. You need a real job. Well, I won a Big Rock in 05 on the Size Matter with Captain Josh Rusky. And I came home and my boss gave me a Rolex and a check for 80 grand. I got my 10%. And I went home and I asked her, I said, is this real enough for you? And from that day on, she never once said no word to me ever. Now I've been married for 12 years to a beautiful wife. I have three awesome sons, Fisher, Kai, and Noah. And we just built our first house, about 3 years ago. So, everybody, says this is a crazy industry, which it is. It's like the gold rush some days, but it can be good. You can really meet a lot of good people, a lot of good friends, and it's pretty awesome to be able to still be in it for 28 years and have a career at it and build your own home. That's something I sit in my house every day and I'm like, man, I built this myself. This is ours. And I've slept on a lot of couches. I've rented a lot of houses. Rent a lot of rooms, and it's just pretty humble, to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'd say, people, every time I talk to people just normally on the dock, people don't realize, yeah, we might be fishing. We might be doing what we love. People always say, if you do what you love, it'll be work. Man, it's still work. It
Oh
puts
yeah,
still
the
puts
grind,
body.
that alarm clock goes off at 2 a.m. every morning, and you guys get up and we're on the water by 4 o'clock, and we're getting back every day around 4:30. And I turn and burn, like I get in, I try, my mates get everything ready to go, and I go home, have dinner with my kids and my family, and then put them to sleep, and then it's on the phone till 10 o'clock, just talking to everybody about what happened today, where everybody was, this and that. It could be a lot. The summertime, it's a total grind, man. It's we fish 7 days a week. We fish pretty much every tournament up here. We just got back from the Jimmy Johnson and Saturday, and turn around and start charter fishing today, and then we got Big Fish Classic next week, and then got a little tournament marlin for Masons, and then we got White Marlin Open. I mean, it just goes on, and you got charters every day in between. So it's definitely, the grind goes. I mean,
yeah, I mean, people always see fishing as just, like a hobby and this and that, because they just see the videos, the highlights.
yeah,
They don't see, the whole back scene, everything that goes on, just to be able to get those 20 to 30 seconds of the fish jumping behind the boat.
oh yeah, oh
They
you're right, 100% about that. I mean, they don't see everything that goes on. I mean, the
Every
wheels
time,
come off the bus a lot. I mean,
yes,
and I
they do.
thought we were talking about the window lickers, man. It was like, next thing you know, they're like, dude, we do this every day, and it's like same thing over and over again. My former team is, knows what to do, and you get a blue marlin come flying in there, man. It's just like total chaos, Just like, but it's fun. That's
Total
the whole reason
chaos.
we do it. I mean, that's what we're there for.
Just
That's
those few seconds.
yeah.
I'll
It's
wait
funny
another
when
8 hours for another bite.
when the whole shit show goes down, and then you're like 5 minutes after they're all done, you all sit back and start laughing. It's just like pretty funny. It's pretty awesome. It's good when you have good guys and good. My bosses are awesome. All my crew guys are great. We all get along. It's like we're not even like, it's my boss, but we're all like family. And we've been fishing together for a few years now, and it works well. It's awesome. It's a pretty good job.
Yeah, it makes a big difference having the right people around you for sure. Because
Yeah.
nothing is worse than being out there for 10, 12 hours a day than with people that are just snotty and, not having fun.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, something might happen, but guess what? That's fishing.
Yeah.
If you didn't realize that, you should go do something else.
You're right about that, 100%. You got to be able to. Yeah, guys are like grouchy, this and that, grumpy about it. I'm like, dude, you're getting to fish for a living. You get to go out here and enjoy. Yeah, you missed that white marlin, but get yourself back in the game. You'll be another one right now. Another minute or two. It's
There's another season. There's another day of fishing.
Yeah.
It always comes back. Everybody always says, "Oh, these guys are in the top, 10." Always, it always seems like they got their shit together. Trust me, at some point in time in their
The
career,
wheels come off the bus all the time. Don't worry.
they might look proper when they come in with their flags nicely spaced.
Yeah.
Some point of the day, there was fucking shit everywhere.
Yeah, you're right about that, 100%. Yep. I mean, like today we're trolling along, and we had these tuners are airing out everywhere. They're eating on these little, like, I don't know, like little flyers. They're only like a couple inches, and we couldn't get a bite. And very, the bites are very far and few between. But these tuners are like right next to the boat, are airing everywhere. You would think you just get exploded on, and all of a sudden, man, we looked over, and there was a big old blue marlin pounding on my spreader bar. And I mean, my mate's screaming, and it's just like I'm there. The kid never screams, and he was. I mean,
That who the hell?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a big old blue marlin. We ended up pulling it off from a spreader bar, which I kind of expected it, but it was.
I don't. Yeah, I expect. If you say you caught it, I'd be like, God damn, that's a lot of luck right there.
Yeah, it was. But it was pretty wild. Because we're looking at these tunas, and look over, and this thing is just charging in there, tail up. I mean, head out of the water, chasing this stupid spreader bar, and it got it, but we pulled it off. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so I also want to ask you these. I've only seen a couple. I only know of a couple. These Guthrie boats. I haven't heard about them up until recently. I've kind of been off of social media, and I've obviously know about all the big name brands and everything. But these Guthries, where are they built, man?
They're built down at Harker's Island by a gentleman named Terry Guthrie, the most unique gentleman you ever meet in your life. You would sit there and on the front porch of his house, and drink iced tea with him, and he would tell you stories about every boat builder there ever was out of Harkers Island, out of Wanchese. I mean, he's an awesome guy. Terry has a grandson, Cameron Guthrie, which runs the Marlin Fever. He's an awesome captain down at Moorhead. Also, he runs that Jerry Orange Jerry Bay boat. But Terry built. We have number 9. And it's only 10 boats, and we have number 9, and absolutely awesome rigs, man. It has the old school style to it. Built in, took delivery of in 2020. It has 1550 Commonwealth mans in it. Cruise speed is 37 knots. We got 2 seakeepers, sonar, the whole 9 yards.
You
But
cruise at 37.
What's that?
Cruise at 37.
37 knots. Wide open.
You got a 63,
65.
65-foot Guthrie that cruises at 37 knots.
Yeah.
Instead of nonchalant, like, yeah, it's 37. I guess it's nowadays, if you're not doing 36, 37 knots, it's
they blow by you, man. It's like incredible. But like, I charter fish every day. So my charter fish speed is like 25 knots, 26 knots.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuel.
That was gonna
37,
be my next question.
37, we're dumping some fuel down there, but charter fishing, we do 25, 26 knots. I can do 28. I did 28 coming home today. Make sure I get here for the podcast. But yeah, it's boat's phenomenal, but I don't even know why there's not more people own them. I mean, it's fun. I mean, the boat rides so well at head sea. It turns on time. I don't know if you've ever been to Wanchese Harbor, but the boat was built by Terry Guthrie, the hull and the house, and then we towed it from Parker's Island to Wanchese to now Safe Harbor, was called Blue Water Boatyard there. A gentleman by Jim Pilati built the boat out. Phenomenal. I remember we're leaving Wanchese Harbor coming out, and the channel goes out and it goes left or right. You go up to Pirates Cove, or you go down towards the inlet, down at Oregon Inlet. And we come out there and we kick that thing up to 28 knots coming out of that channel, and it's a 90-degree turn. And Jim,
I was about to say,
are we going to make this, Jim? And he's like, we'll find out. And we spun that thing, and that thing just drives like a Corvette, man. Just dives. And so we tested a couple of times. We've done 33 knots and made that 90-degree turn going in there just to see what it would do. It's a pretty impressive rig, man. It has the old school look. Like I said, all faux teak transom, faux teak tow rail. Only thing real teak on there is the chairs and the steps going up the ladder. But it's a phenomenal boat, man. My bosses gave me the opportunity to build it out, the way I wanted to lay it out. And I took all the boats I've been on, the things I liked, I didn't like, and kind of put it all in one. And it's awesome, man. We get, it's a charter boat, but it's also, got the private boat look inside. Real, fancy, but real,
for a lot of people, it's I want to say confusing. It's a lot to process how big of a challenge it is to be a charter boat and to immediately switch over to a full-blown tournament private boat.
And right now that's our, we've been doing back and forth. Like, we literally come home from Jim Johnson on Saturday, and my mates are there on Sunday, and just switching everything over from all the tournament stuff comes off and, put away. And then all the charter stuff, all the tuna fishing stuff comes back out, or towel fishing, deep dropping, sword fishing, everything's got to be ready to go. Every day we can switch it up. It's like, you got to be, I don't go out there and I just like, oh, we're just going to do one thing. Like, I want to be the best every day. I want to throw down on the dock every time I come back to the dock. So if I got to go catch 4 tunas, then go catch a limited towel fish and maybe a swordfish, I'm going to do it. And, luckily I have a mate on there right now. He's young and he's eager. He wants the same thing. So it's no conflict, we do it.
Blessing, it's hard to, like I said, it's hard to get the right guys on a program that you run your way, and for them to be fluid and go with the flow and be motivated as well to do it. It's rare, but when you do, them guys stick around, and it really works really nice when everybody's on the same page, man.
You're right about that.
It's pretty cool to hear about it, because obviously I just started following your page, the Rochambeau page, probably about 6 or 8 months ago, and I love it, bro. Every time I see this is happening, and then all of a sudden the next day I see the story, and I'm like, oh, they're fishing a tournament, and like 4 days later, oh, they're charter fishing again. Oh, they're doing this. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's and the funny thing is, social media, I'm not the person in social media. Like, I don't like it. But when I took this job, and my boss was like, they have their own restaurants and stuff, and they're like, social media is where it needs to be. We need to do live videos, which I don't do them that much if I do any of it at all. But
I'd rather them see my edited stuff afterwards.
Yeah, and so that was a challenge, and I tell you how that started. That was like during pandemic. My kids were home from school. They would get all set up on their tablets, and I sat right next to them, and I would just start Googling how to get followers, how to do Instagram, how to do, what to do. And that's pretty much what we did, do TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and, that kind of stuff. But it was definitely a challenge. And, that's, we're booked every day, and, we have a good following, and, I would say 90% of my charters are all repeat customers or anything,
That's
right
awesome.
now I'm getting calls right now like, oh, what's your next day open? I'm like, November 1st is my next day open. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm serious. I'm sorry.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
It can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, but
Oh yeah.
I believe for at least charter fishermen, at least, why not get something else out there? Something else to, for people to see if you want to get booked up. And if you're booked up, it's good because the people that are trying to book with you, they see that you're constantly going, constantly catching up.
Yeah.
So it's good for business as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It takes a special kind of person to want to sit down and figure out how to do it right,
Oh yeah.
Because some people just put just really, really bad stuff out there. Just not saying like what they post, but how they post it, and they start with like their phone on their face first. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This over, and you're like looking at their face for 15 seconds. You're like, next.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that they like to do a lot. I'm a big conflict person, so they're like, I kind of like slide under the radar. Some people really get into the, man, it makes them, you're biting your tongue. You want to say something, but you're like, I'm not getting involved in this. You just keep walking away from it, but some of the content, it's really, some guys have some really good pages to follow and stuff. Pretty neat to do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that. I only follow certain people because of that, like you said. Unfortunately, back, when I was younger, I was a hothead, and it wasn't a really good thing to do, but I always had an opinion,
Yeah.
And now that social media has been such a big influence, I've learned to keep my mouth shut, because it just starts shit. It just starts.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do that, especially not on a page that's professional and doing it for a living like you are.
Yeah, for sure.
But, so, a lot of things have changed in the last few years, how you were talking about COVID, and from what I saw and from what you've told me, you said you lost how many pounds since December?
About 110. And we were talking a little before the podcast started, but I kind of weird I'll be talking to you about this on the podcast because I kind of kept it quiet for when it first happened and everything. But if I can get one point out to everybody, anybody in this business or anything, is James, is like, you're on the grind. You're constantly going. You're not eating right. You're not doing this and not doing that. And back in December, I got we thought we had a stroke, but it ended up being, I can't pronounce the words. My wife was here; she'd be able to tell you. But it's like 3 different big words. But what happens is like all the sugar in your body gets built up, has nowhere to go, and gives you like stroke-like symptoms. And that's what happened to me. And then I got diagnosed with diabetes and everything. And then so sitting in the doctor's office, I was asking the lady, I was like, the doctor, I was like, hey, I fish for a living. I can't be doing insulin shots. I can't be, taking medicine all the time. Can I get off this? She looked at me. She's like, yeah, you can, as long as you do the work, you can get completely off of anything. I was like, you're serious? She's like, yeah, as long as you do everything. Well, I went home. I told my wife, I said, I'm going to do this. I want to get off of it. Thank God my wife, she goes to the gym all the time. She's very healthy, eats healthy at home. So home is not my problem. Is when I'm away from home is my problem. And I was drinking 20 sodas a day, Coca-Colas a day. Oh. And when I got diagnosed in the hospital, my A1C was 12.5, and the border is 6.5 to go from diabetic, not diabetic. So at that time, the doctor was like, we can make this work, as long as you do it, you do the work, you can have it, come off of it. So I went home and we looked it up, and I went to work on it, man. And I can honestly say 3 weeks ago, I did my last A1C number was 5.6. So it's no more diabetes. They're taking me off all of the medicine and everything. So you just gotta keep it. I just can't go back to what I was doing. I don't want to go back to what I was doing. It's just like, but that's another. I mean, it's just like, I know a lot of my buddies, don't have doctors. They just go to clinics wherever they're at and this and that. But man, if you're getting older and older, you have to go get checked out. I wish I wouldn't have waited so long because I could have took care of this a long time ago and not scared the hell out of my family, friends and stuff. But it's all good now, man. There's a learning experience and just keep looking up from now.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're definitely all happy that I'm definitely super happy to hear that. I didn't hear that before the podcast started, for you to go from this point, you know, 6 or 7 months ago to be here now, basically free and clear. It's truly inspiring for people out there, at least for me, like I was telling you before, I was the heaviest I've been in my life. And same thing at home, it was never an issue.
Yeah.
With my wife and her cooking and everything, like you said, it was never at home. It's always been a problem with us traveling and us being on the grind, not thinking about it, having a couple of rum and cokes, having a big old dinner because it's been a long day. It definitely puts a big perspective in our industry to where I've seen enough things happen to people, our friends, our family members, people that we know that know other people that just don't take care of themselves. It's a big thing in our industry to where, I can take care of it. I don't need to go get checked out. This cut I have here, just put some super glue on it, or
I've been there before. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it just everybody needs to take time and to go do it, and it's hard for me to. I mean, I didn't, and I caught myself in the hospital for 3 days. And I swore from that point on, I promised my wife I'd never do that again. I was like, I sat in the hospital in the ER. James, I looked over at 12 o'clock at night. My wife's laying on the floor because she was tired. I mean, it's just like that point right there. I was like, you know what? I'm never doing this. I'm like, I'm not going backwards. And it's just,
there's always that pain
crazy.
that you feel yourself personally, but I think it pains me more to see people that love me and care about me, realize that, hey, we really do love you. We want you to stick around. Please take care of yourself.
Yeah.
With this industry, there's a big misunderstanding about pound your chest. I can get through anything. I don't need, checked out or anything. And then you end up getting a phone call. Hey, where you been? Oh, I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
It just blindsides you always. And like you said, I think it's a big thing to be able to get out there the message is take care of yourself because, even if you don't have, kids and a wife and everything, people still want to see you around, man.
You're right, man. You got friends, I have a core group of friends, man, that, I'd be devastated if I lost one of them, it's just, it's just not your family. You have family in the fishing industry too. You have people you've known all your life, probably more than your wife or your kids. And, it's just like, you want everybody to be healthy and happy. And, it's just got to take time and take care of yourself. That's that's the biggest thing. And it sucked that I had to learn that the hard way, but, hey, I'm glad I learned it. At least I'm here still talking to you on the podcast.
Sure, I'm happy. It's so funny because I always talk to people about it. You never really learn something until it happens to you.
Yeah.
But I really, really try to dig in and try to take in all the information and learn.
Yeah.
Fucking learn. Get it in your head that this shit is real. It happens to everybody.
Yep.
And you have the one, bad apple that does whatever they want, drink whatever they want, and they're just fine their entire life.
Yep. I got a couple of those friends.
That I just look at him, I'm like, how the hell do you do that? But at the same time, I am happy that you're healthy again, and life, it's changed for a lot of us, but I'm super happy for you and your family, man.
Yeah, it definitely changed. I mean, just the aspect of my family, it helps out with with the fishing and everything else.
I was gonna say, how do you feel now that you're not drinking all the sodas?
I mean, it's 100% difference. You're light on your feet, your legs and your backs don't hurt anymore. I mean, it just feel amazing. Like, and my wife don't want to hear this when she hears this, but like I feel like I go for another 10 or 20 years.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's truly a blessing because we're out there, especially if you don't have a seakeeper on your boat, or even if you do, just run out there. You know, it puts a
Yeah.
beat in your body, and you don't feel it until the end of the night.
Oh yeah,
You
sure.
feel it the next day. But I
Yeah,
think the guys that are healthy and that, look, in a good state of mind, and, obviously don't drink a lot and stay
yeah,
healthy, they always seem to be able to go more and more and more and more,
yeah. And I went from charter fishing, as a captain, and I went to a private boat for a while, and I took the plunge to come back to charter fishing, and then this whole organization, it was like people were like, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to be like on easy street now, go charter, private fishing. You don't have to do all that. And I'm like, I love the fish. I mean, I truly, and I said this in the last podcast I just did. I love it. I mean, that's the reason I do it. Everybody's like, why do you do it? I love going out every day. I mean, no matter what we catch, it's the surprise. I mean, I had no idea I was going to see a big old blue marlin today or catch 4 yellowfins and a dolphin. I mean, I had no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a challenge. I'm very competitive. I grew up my whole life. I grew up racing motocross and BMX and playing soccer and lacrosse, and so I'm very competitive. And I take that into the fishing every day, and that's what I think drives me. It's like,
You got the bug.
yeah. And the thing is, I have 3 little boys, and Fisher, Kai, and Noah. They all love it, and they all want to be mates, and they want to be captains, and it's just like, oh, hold on, guys, slow them down a little bit. But yeah, they definitely they had the bug already, But if they had what I have, it'd be a fun ride for them.
Oh yeah, hand them a tackle box, not an Xbox.
Oh yeah, dude, they have them. They want to come fishing. They come down to the marina, and in my dock box, they have their own tackle box, their own fishing rods, they fish
Yes.
all
Hell
day.
yeah. And what's
Yeah,
even better is once they know they're knots, all right, don't bother me. Just go catch a bunch of fish.
yeah, yep.
Let me
And
keep doing my job.
yep, they do that. They go out and they'll go fishing here and there, and they want to go down the end of the dock. They'll come tell me that, while I'm doing boat work and stuff like that. But they enjoy being around. They get to know everybody. They know all the captains and the mates, and I grew up in it, so I think it's a great,
It's
it's a
truly a
great,
blessing to be able to
yeah.
go down to your boat and have your family around.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the tuna tournament. We just got finished here in Ocean City last weekend, and it's come in. We got to weigh 195-pound big eye. Bring it in the scale. My kids are there screaming. They have friends and family. That's where it's at, man. That's it's my wife always like I think she looks at me. She's like, why do you go through all this every day? But it's just the love. I mean, I love the sport. I mean, it's awesome. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just a
Yeah,
great time.
makes it a big difference, when you come in, or, like you said, weighing a fish, and you get to see your kid and you get to see your
Yeah,
wife and your friends. It's not so much about what you're about to weigh, it's be able to see the love and
yeah,
support after all this work, after all this time that you just put in, to be able to see them there cheering you on. It motivates you, like you said, for another 10, 20 years.
yeah. We talk about that. Like we're talking about like coming in. Like we broke the state record for swordfish last year with a 393 swordfish on rod and reel, and it took us the guy took 5.5 hours to catch it, and we got back at 10:30 at night. 10:30 at night, place is closed down, bars shut down, everything. Well, I called and let them know what I had. And I kept telling everybody. And Jim, I'm telling you, when I backed that boat down that fairway because of the scale and everything to get the fish out of the boat and everything. I mean, you would have thought it was the tuna. I mean, it was. I mean, so many
Wait, the
people, their
big rock?
friends and family. I mean, talking about me, just friends, and it was just amazing. 10:30 at night, everybody wanted to come see the fish. I mean, it was like it was awesome. It was really super
Definitely
cool.
that love makes it a big difference, man.
Yeah,
When I was growing up in Costa Rica, I started as an angler when I was 9 on a couple different boats, not on my dad's boat. He wouldn't let me
hmm
fish with him. But by the time I got to like 11, yeah, 11, I finally got to fish on a really good boat. And I was one of their anglers, and they're always a family boat.
yeah,
One of the brothers was the captain, but all the anglers were brothers, and the dad was an angler as well, and so was the mom. So I was the only oddball in there, and we actually beat my dad this tournament, and we took second place. He took third, and we beat my dad this tournament. And for me to go in, because I was helping him with the lines,
yeah,
spraying, just a little squirt, being a swab in the cockpit, wiping it down. And my dad took his hat off to me behind the back of the boat. I'm like, okay, cool. My dad's showing some love for me. I was about to cry. Took his hat off and he walked away. I'm like, why'd you walk away? And he's like, I ain't gonna shake your hand in front of everybody. You just beat me. We're back next tournament though. So,
that's awesome, man.
Those little things do make a big difference in our lives when we're fishing these tournaments or just fishing in general.
Yeah. For a while, my dad fished. My dad fishes all the tournaments and everything, and he's an angler, and but we fished against each other a lot, and recently on this last couple of boats I've been on, my dad's been actually an angler on the boat, so I get to fish with my dad every tournament. So this, it's we won a lot of tournaments together, and the one big one that my dad, I was with my dad when he won the White Marlin Open in '95, but I don't claim that. Like that's not me. That was my dad. That was I was kind of riding along, helping out. Like I was young, I was like shamming the boat and stuff like that. But I want to win. That's the one I want to. That's the one I want.
It'd be even better if you get to win it again with your dad, but you run the boat.
You had no idea how great that would be. That would be awesome.
I know who to put my money on then in August. So I'll be following it around. The moment I see Rochambeau boated a White Marlin, you better believe I'm flying to Ocean City.
Oh yeah, man. It'll be that's the one I want, man. That's placing a bunch of them. That's the one I want to, the biggest one. I want to check that one off my box. That's been haunting me since I was a little kid. So that's the big one.
That's a great motivator too, man. Because I just now started running my own boat after being a mate for a very long time, and it'd probably be really, really cool. I'm trying to convince my boss to bring the boat down to Costa Rica, and it'd probably be really cool to fish Los Sueños against my dad.
Oh yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Be able to pull in there. Hopefully, obviously I'm hopeful to always win and him win as well. If one of us has to win, I'd rather win. But it'd be really, really cool to be able to pull into the place because I grew up in Los Sueños.
Yeah.
I was pushed off the dock, to be able to come in there. I've gone there as an angler. I won it as an angler, won it as a mate. I want to be able to win it as a captain and for my dad to still be there and do it.
Yep.
That it's the one thing, it's the one motivator that you're just itching for.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be some people might think that that's not a big deal, but that's it's your dad and you're going against your family. That's to be the all of all. Yeah.
How old are your kids?
So Fisher will be 13. Everybody turns up in the next month or so. So Fisher is 12 now. Kai is 8 and Noah is 7. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna name my son Kai.
Oh really?
Yeah, I named him Kahai after one of my friends.
Yeah.
And, but no, when so my son was born August 27th.
So Fisher was born September 15th. Kai's August 13th, and then Noah's October 6th.
Gotcha. Man, you're close with all those dates. That's an expensive 3 months.
Yeah, not only that, was like I hear about it all the time. We had Kai, and I left my wife in the hospital to go fish one day at a poor girls tournament. I still I hear that all the time. I probably will never not hear that ever, probably, but
that's a tough one there.
We should have really thought about that one. That was like the timing on that one's pretty bad. But they're all, man, they all play sports, they fish, and they're boys, man. We live on 3 acres, and they're out there riding dirt bikes, they're gigging frogs, or doing.
You live in Ocean City?
Yeah, so I live right out of town, Ocean City. I live in Berlin.
Gotcha.
Yep. A friend of mine that has a farm, and we bought some land off of him, and then we built a house right there.
That's super sick.
Yeah. I leave the hustle and bustle of the town and go over there, and you might not see a car for an hour and a half on my road.
I'm just fine with that, man.
Yeah.
I grew up in the jungle where the nearest house was maybe like 4 miles away.
Yeah.
It truly makes a big difference because since we're always like water people talking to us at the dock, working, and you get to your home and it's just.
That's the big thing. I go out back and my wife talked me into putting an in-ground pool in last summer. And I was kind of against it. I was like, babe, I can't take care of this thing. Like, I'm not going to be around to help you with this. She stepped up to the plate. She takes care of it. She does everything needs to be done with it. And I do go home after fishing and jump in that thing, and it's so nice, man. It's awesome.
Hell
You sit
yeah.
back there, and all it is just grass and woods, and you just sit there and just peace and quiet. And we do have some farm animals. We have 13 chickens and 2 ducks. And the funny thing is that we have these 3 roosters, and the one rooster, I'm telling you, it's only probably that big. I mean, he's a little thing. I mean, he's probably like maybe 10 inches tall total, and he's
West
so
Rooster.
loud. What's that?
One of them Key West roosters.
It is a band. I think I'm probably not telling you everything, but I think it's called Bantam or something.
Gotcha.
Bantam, yeah. And then we have 3 ducks, and those things. It's funny that you be working in the yard and you hear quack 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 quack. It just makes you laugh. You know, you just like. But it's fun, man. It's fun living out there. You know, out in the like I said, out in the country. You know, but
You
it's
are?
nice, relaxing. What's that?
I said you are out in the country.
Yeah. I grew up. I mean, we grew up on the water. You know, my parents always had a house on the water and stuff. And then me and my wife got together. She lived on the water, and we had our first son, Fisher. And she's like, "I want to move off the water. It makes me nervous." So I'm like, "Oh, really? I don't want to move off the water." But now we live out there. I was like, "This is awesome. You know, it's the best
Yeah.
decision we ever made."
So do you got a charter tomorrow?
Yeah, man. I got one every day.
Yeah, because I remember earlier you said November 1st. I'm like, man, that's a few months away. And then you
Yeah.
got some tournaments lined up, but
Yeah, we do. So we fished about November 1st. And I'll take trips after November. You know, then it's deep drop and sword fishing primarily then. And then we have a couple months off, and then I'll be down in the Outer Banks, giant fishing February, March, and in April we tuna yellowfin fishing down there.
nice.
So yeah,
You
yeah. So
primarily keep the boat up there?
yeah, we primarily keep the boat in Ocean City, and then we keep it in Wanchese in the wintertime. That's where the boat stays in the winter down there. Get it below the freeze line. You know, try to keep it. This year we kept it out of the water, and one of my really good best friends, John Duffy, did the Duffy Boat Works did a bunch of work to it this year, and I'll never keep it out of the water again. I feel like when you do that, I mean, it's just like steady fixing stuff when you put it back in the water. It's like
I don't
just
know
when you
what
stop
it
using
is about being out of the water. I don't know if it's just like stuff flexing or
Yeah.
something, but I get 90-degree elbow PVC pipes. All kind of stuff just starts breaking.
Yeah, it just seems like I'm like I need to keep this thing in the water. You know, it's just like it just. So we'll see. We're gonna go back to the Outer Banks and wrestle some giants again this year. We're looking forward to that. You know, that's one of our. We started doing that a couple years ago. It's become one of my favorite things to do. It's really, I mean, it's impressive. You know, that place. I don't know if you've ever been to Outer Oregon Inlet or not, but
Yeah.
it's
I was up at Bayless with the games.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So, dude, that place is salty, man. I tip my hat to every one of those captains that go in and out there every day. They're like my heroes, man. I look at them. I'm like, I love fishing down there. If I could move there, I would. You know, I love going there fishing every day. I don't pray much, but I do pray twice a day when I'm down there. I pray once before I leave the inlet, once when I leave the dock, and once before I come through the inlet. Because that place is sketchy as hell. There ain't no joke about it. There ain't no lie. If somebody tells you, oh, it's a cakewalk, it's easy, they're fucking lying to you. Straight up lying to you, because it's not easy. It's you go out in the morning, you're following like all those boats out, or they're following you, and you go down the
Yeah,
channel,
that's
going
one
in.
thing. Yeah, when they're
And
following you is when you're like, oh shit, I better not.
yeah, you're like I'm praying on these track marks right here. I'm following my track marks. But then when you come back in daylight, you know, in the end of the day, and there's sandbars on both sides of you, and you're like, dude, I just came down through here in pitch black dark and couldn't see nothing, and you all got your FLIR and your spotlight, and it's just like it's crazy, man. But it's fun fishing. The guys down there, so nice. They all work together. You put everything on the air. You talk to each other. You know, a lot of places you go now, everything's so quiet, secretive. You know, don't nobody wants to talk on the radio. Everybody's like we talk about Star linked up now. Everybody's got Starlink.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I gotta say, every mate, every captain always has like certain spots where, if you really want to be called, up to a mate, at least per standard, one place you do have to go spend a season in, because everybody always thinks, oh, Costa Rica, Madeira, Cape Verde, Australia. They think about all these seasons. I'm like, why don't you go do a season at an Oregon Inlet and then give me a phone call?
Yeah.
See how that changes your life.
Yeah. That's like, everybody's always like, the guys from the East Coast, man, the Mid-Atlantic, I think, they go down places and they hold their own. It's because, dude, the fishing here is not easy. Like, everybody thinks it's just a cakewalk. We're every day, 60, 70 miles. If we're going to hit any kind of eddy, you're going to be 80 miles or even more, 90, So, and, Oregon Inlet is tough. I mean, you got to switch up every day. You're going from tuna fishing to dolphin fishing to towel fishing to marlin. It's like, and it's just, it's hard work, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. And, more north you go, you get into Cape May and up to Brigantine, all that stuff up in New Jersey. Those guys are running even farther than we are. They're staying over a couple of days at a time out there. It's just like, I think it's, I think that's why some guys do that well, other places, because they're just so versatile. They can do whatever they want. They know how to do it all. It's like, I feel like, it's not like, if you get a mate out of South Florida, it's just, that I've heard that conflict so many times. You got guys, Stewart guys, and then you got the Ocean City guys. You know what I mean? You like, who's better? Or you got Palm Beach or this. Like, you got live baiting and then you got trolling. It's like, I wish two things I wish I've done in my career is I wish I've done more live baiting. I've done some of it, but I'm not great at it. But I wish I've done a lot more of it. And then I wish I've done more time blue marlin fishing. That's one thing I wish I've done a lot of actually now. And
it's good. It's good to hear that from somebody, because a lot of guys nowadays say, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm good at that. I'm good at that. So it comes to like, all right, put that kite up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Or like, they're like, I'm gonna go I can tuna fish, and they start putting a rig together. Like, who taught you how to do that? That's not the right way to, or they
show me.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of, dude, you get a lot of captains, and I'll probably get a lot of grief about this, and a lot of mates, dude. You get your jobs at bars, you ain't doing fun.
You can say whatever you want.
You're not fucking doing, you got to do the grind, man. It's like, and it
scary sometimes when I see some, at least because I live in South Florida, not to talk shit about South Florida, but I know a few guys to where I can be like, tie me a bimini.
Yeah.
And it's very, 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 very scary.
Yeah.
How many of those there are, because nowadays they're letting, there's mates scarce. There's none.
It's hard, I got lucky. I had to switch mates this year, and my other mate went off to another boat, and so I was looking for a mate, and I was like, man, I gotta find somebody that's going to do 100. I do 130 to 170 trips a year. I gotta find somebody that wants to do that, And you talk to people, nobody wants to do that, and especially guys that like have a lot of experience. They're like, dude, I'm not, I'm too old for that.
I got a family,
Yeah, exactly. And I found a kid that fishes with me now, named Joey Morowski. The funny thing is, the guy I grew up fishing with was like my grandfather on the water. His best friend was Joey's grandfather. So it was kind of like they all fished together. So it was like, he's a good kid, and he's eager, man. He wants to learn, and he don't know everything, but he wants to learn everything, and that's what I need, that's a big thing. Yep.
A lot of guys come into the cockpit or come on your boat. I know how to do that. I can do this. I do it this way. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I run this boat. We're going to do it this way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That happens all the time, But yeah, that's, if they want to learn, they want to go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I lived in
pinch. You got no choice then.
Yeah. And we're talking about the South Florida thing. Like, I lived in Stewart for like 7 winters, and I loved it down there. But I just, when like Johnny, he has the Billfisher, and they kept that in North Palm. I worked for them for a little bit and kept them in North Palm Beach Marina, and we go clay fishing with Billy Gerlach and all those guys. And dude, they just blew my mind with the clay fishing stuff. But we just never did a lot of it down there. We had the boat there for a little bit, then we'd we went to Isla for a winter, doing that stuff. But
Yeah, Billy's just down the dock from me. He's like 2 slips down.
yeah, he's awesome, dude. But me and Johnny went to Isla. God, it would be an 04, I think it was. So circle hooks wasn't a thing then. Remember the J hooks that had the weights on them and everything? That was the thing. So we left. I remember going to Fisherman's over in Palm Beach getting a bunch of circle hooks. We're like, we're going to try these this winter. We're going to try this. And we tried, man, we were crisscrossing the floss on the head, every different way to try to rig them and stuff. And that was when it first started. I felt like, for me, we go there, bring 100 baits a day. I told my mate today, I was like, you need to go somewhere and experience, 30, 40, 50 bites a day. If you can, that's where you need to go. If you go to Costa Rica or go, Isla, if it's good there, it's, you have to experience that. I mean, that's, it's
definitely like I told you earlier, you definitely got to go. Like there's certain places where you got to spend a few seasons at. Like I said, Oregon,
yeah.
you definitely got to do that. You definitely got to, Kona's a hard one because there's very few boats over there to do the big lure fishing. But I'd say Madeira and Cape Verde, Cabo, just for the simple fact of getting all them stripey bites and being always on the fly, and always ready. Costa Rica just for the amount of fish that's consistently there.
Yeah.
And obviously South Florida for your kite fishing, and you definitely got to do Ocean City just because of the simple fact that having to wake up super, super early and doing those long tragics. But you go out there and like you said, you can do tuna fishing, you can do marlin fishing, you can do sword fishing, you can do it all. Towel fishing. Shit, you can come back in and do some what I know in Jersey they call it fluking, but
flounders. Yeah, we call them flounder. Yeah, fluke flounder. Yeah, same thing. You're right. I mean, if you're a mate and you're listening to this, I mean, if you want to be the man, you want to be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. You go check all the boxes you just said, James. I mean, go do all that stuff, then come back and say, hey, listen, I can do all of it now. You know what I mean? Don't go down a dock and tell somebody you can do something and be totally lying to them because you're going to look like a fool and then it's going to be.
They'd rather hear, hey, I'll work for free for a few days.
Yeah.
Fishing. I want to learn.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, every single location I just named, somebody will be there and be like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on board. We'll go through the ropes with you.
Yeah.
Don't get in the fucking way. But,
That's the fishing industry, like a family. Like if you have somebody genuinely wants to learn and learn how to do it, somebody will put them under their arm and take them and teach them. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, somebody will do that. I mean, that's just the way we are. I think that's the way we're built. You're always willing to help. We don't leave nobody behind. That's the thing. You got there. I run a 65-foot boat. I'm running in and it's a 3-foot head seat. I'm just like, no problem. I'll see a center console off to my right here. I mean, and he's just getting his teeth beat in. I will slow down and go 15 knots to make sure he gets home. I mean, that's just the way I am. We're brought up that way.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Whoever was that person for you, you're just keep bringing it down, and eventually you'll pass that on to somebody you probably won't even know, but one day you'll be with somebody and they'll be like, "That's the way to do it."
Yeah. For instance, this earlier in the year, probably a month ago, a gentleman called me on the radio. I had no idea really who he was, but he seemed to know me. And he's like, "Hey, I need you to call a friend. We hit something and we're coming home on motor. Can you go let my dog out?" And I'm like, "Yeah. What's his number?" You know what I mean? So I got his number. I called this guy and I'm like, just on my Starlink, say, "Hey, listen, this your buddy, such and such is, he's coming on one motor and he'll be in late o'clock. Can you go let his dog out and meet him at the dock to help him get tied up?" It's a big deal, right? And then it was funny. Like a week later, he's my charter. He's on my boat. He was on that boat that day, and I had no idea. And he's like, "We want to give you a gift card." I'm like, "For what?" Like, "Because you helped us out." And nobody would answer the radio. Nobody would call, help us. I'm like, I don't just pass it on. Like somebody needs help, you help them. Like I don't need anything. I don't want nothing. I just want everybody. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. For sure. Now I may not help you to tell you where the fish are at every day, all the time.
Yeah.
But
there's stipulations and just things you got to accept before I can help you.
Yeah, but
got to sign an NDA.
You got my help.
Yeah. Everything else. That's funny, man. Like that I've never heard that before. Getting a call on the radio. "Hey, you mind calling this guy and telling him to let my dog out?"
Yeah. Yeah.
How's this guy?
Yeah. But if I don't care as long as I can do it and help you. You're broke down. You're coming in one motor. I've been there.
Talks a lot about a person if you're just like, no, I don't need anything. Pass it along.
Yeah.
Nice to somebody else later. And that's where I think like we were talking about earlier, how this industry needs to hear a few things is, and not everybody's here to cut your, stab you in the back. Not everybody's here for your job.
Yeah.
Help out when you can, and if you can't, pass it along to somebody else to see if they can.
That's the
Because
problem, man. Dude, there's so many backstabbers out there, man. You'd be your best friend talking to you right to your face, and then turn around, walk away. They just talk shit. And there are a lot of haters. There's a lot of haters out there, and everybody, not just myself or whatever, or you or whoever. But they're if somebody's doing good, somebody always wants to hate on them. Why? Just keep your mouth shut. Who cares if he touched the leader or he did it wrong or whatever, touched a rod tip or something like that. I mean, just stop being a
can't
hater.
stand guys that have an opinion for everything and anything, and most of the time they have a fucking drink in their hand.
Yeah.
It's obviously if they were sober, they probably wouldn't say anything, or they'd have a different opinion of it. But you weren't there. That wasn't your fish. You weren't in that situation to know what he was into.
Yep.
And who cares? It's over.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it now. If it's in a video, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't even want to bring it up, but the whole Big Rock thing just happened. You know what I mean? Both situations suck, but don't be hating on one person or don't be hating on the other person. You know what I mean? You have nothing. I mean, everybody wants their opinion, which you have the freedom to say whatever you want to say, but don't
don't take it a step over.
Be classy about it. Don't be total douchebag about what your opinion is.
Like you said, we get the point of view of both sides.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's a certain line you don't pass with your comments and your opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody's
comment. Only thing I said about that is I'm glad I wasn't part of it. That's the first time I'm going home with that boat. I was like, thank God I'm not involved in that.
because that's a very tough situation to be in, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like that in every tournament, we just did a Jimmy Johnson and, talking to the tournament director there and everything. They're nice people that are talking about all the camera pictures we got to take and everything. You won't have a clue. All the lawsuits and protests, comes and, all these release tournaments and everything. And I just, you almost want to can't everybody just play fair? Everybody wants to complain about rules and, oh, this rule sucks. You can't do this. You can't do that. Play the game the way it's meant to be played. Just play it. That's the way they want to do it. You play the game their way. You know what I mean? Then you go to the next tournament, you play the game their way. Just keep, just do what they want to do. I mean, it ain't that hard. It's just
not complicated at all. It's how you get a release. You do this, 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 and this. And if you don't have any of these parameters, guess what? It's not a release.
Simple as that.
Yeah. If you lose a fish or we almost it doesn't matter. If you didn't get all these stipulations, it's over with. I've personally DQ'd fish of my own boat.
Yeah.
When I saw a certain situation happen because of tournament rules.
Yeah.
And the owners have gotten upset with me, and the captain's gotten upset with me, and I'm like, I play by the rules.
Yeah.
I was like, if that fish ate 2 baits and you're both fighting him.
Yep.
I tell you, one of you stop reeling, it's for a reason.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It happens and people get upset, but rules are rules, man. No matter what, and no matter in what thing of life, rules are rules. You got to follow them to make money.
Yeah, you're right about that for sure.
So, well, I always ask people, guests and friends of mine that come on the podcast, really not so much the best day fishing wise, like when you caught the most fish, but what's one of the most memorable days you've had on the water because of the people you were with in the situation that happened?
Oh man,
it can be 2 or 3. I don't care. I just want to hear.
I mean, memorable day when I won the Big Rock. That was, catching the last day. I talked about this before. Last day of the tournament, everything's packed on the boat, wheels, everything. We're like, we're gonna catch it. We're leaving. We're going home, catching that, and then bring that back to the Big Rock, which is not where the Big Rock Landing is now. It was at the old spot, and backing in there's grandstands and people everywhere. It's just that was amazing. I won sorry, won the tuna tournament twice, and that was just even. I mean, both times. The one time I won it with a big eye. It was the first big eye I ever caught. I've lost so
Oh,
many of those things,
hell
and kill one, and just be the captain of the boat then, and it's like, just had my son Fisher. I think I was holding him. I think he was like 6 months old, maybe 8 months old, or something like that. Maybe a little older than that, but it's just that, and just man, you know, I sat there and watched Johnny Duffy catch 57 white marlins one day right next to me. We caught 27 on my boat, but I watched him catch 57 white marlins one day. That was pretty, pretty awesome to see that, be involved in that. That was my best day, his best day, but it was like a lot of people's best day. That was a day that was so epic. It was incredible. But all of my tournament, it just taking my kids fishing. Like last year, I got to take my family fishing, and it was just me and my wife and my kids and my mate, and we spent the day trying to get my middle son Kai a white marlin. And well, that lasted about 12 o'clock, and they're like, "Can we go towel fishing?" And they love catching towels. And it's just spending the day with them, getting on the water with them. That's probably one of the best memories, get to do that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I get it.
Some tournament wins every year, and you just get, that's what drives you, man. Getting these tournaments, and people hate them, but I love them, man. I get in, it's just the competition, and just to
I
be
love
able
that
to,
stress.
yeah, it's definitely different stress. Like last year, we won in a category in the Mid Atlantic 500. It's big Calcutta, and we ended up catching a white marlin that took second place in that Calcutta, won us 300 some thousand, and that was our only bite of the week, and
Yes.
only bite of the day. And everybody's like, we'll touch on this subject. Actually, he's come thinking about this. So I called it off the sonar. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I have it on the boat. And it's like, and with my only bite of the day, I didn't know how big it was. But when we brought it in the boat, I was like, oh, this is a good one. This is definitely the one. But it was just like that long, hard, all week long, not getting the bites, not, what's wrong with the boat? Wheels bad. We just changed the wheels. This doesn't.
Bearings, this, that, yeah.
Yep. And then just all of a sudden this thing pops up, on a sonar, and you chase it down, and, it disappears, and you're just like watching it. Then it finally comes up on a teaser, switches off on a teaser onto my left flat. My guy on the left flat just totally rocks it. I mean, he just hooks it up and catch it. It's picture perfect,
Yeah.
that days like that, man, that makes it work. That, like, you're really hard. That's a hard tournament. Last day, all week long, you've been through the White Marlin Open and four girls and all this stuff, and just finally down to that. You think, at the middle of the day, you think you're out. Like, man, it's been, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a day off, and then that happens. That's pretty.
Are you okay with going another week without catching one?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, we're talking about sonars. That's a subject we can talk about, and I get so irritated. I understand what everybody says about sonar, like it's not fair, but then buy one. Everybody has one. I mean, it's they do make it in tournaments in non-sonar category and then sonar category. I understand that, but it's just like online, you see all this BS every day on social media. Oh, it's because of the sonar. It's because of sonar. Listen, the sonar can tell you the fish is there, but it ain't gonna make the damn fish bite. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I always tell my mates, I said, listen, I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't make it drink. It's, everybody wants to, like, bash them. But, the thing is, I sat in the boatyard this winter and I watched 6 or 7 of them go in the boat, going boats. You know what I mean? Everybody's got them now, boats, and it's like, I don't know when the whole crying about it is going to be over with. It's,
I
because
think
you have one doesn't mean you're going to win. Well, I'm by myself for saying that. The boats that have won the White Marlin Open have sonars, and my buddy Johnny just broke the Maryland State Red Collar Grander Blue Marlin. He chased it down with a sonar. But if you or this person or that person has one, you're going to do the same damn thing too. You know what I mean? You have the opportunity to buy one.
Why not use a piece of machinery that's gonna give you an advantage, at
Exactly.
least to know where it is? Because at the end of the day, hey, you can have the best captain, the best sonar guy, the best mate, but if your angler decides not to do it the right way,
You can't.
Don't
You're not
matter.
going to get it. Yeah, it ain't going to matter. You know, yeah,
Even
you
if
see
you
the
don't get
fish in
that
there.
chance, like you said, if he doesn't want to bite, he's not gonna bite.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it helps. You know, I use it every day charter fishing. You know, it definitely gets me a bite or two every day for sure. It helps me out, but it also frustrates the hell out of me. You know, it's you know, like Pino always says, he's like, it's not the sonar, it's you. It's not, you know, you're always like, this sonar is messed up. I need new settings. I went through that a while in the Big Rock. You know, I was like, this is not right. This doesn't look right to me. This and that. And it just came down to being, you know, it's just the operator most of the time. You know, trying to get it
It's hard
dialed
because,
in.
like you said, it kind of when it's good, it's great. You know, for you,
Yeah,
you feel that you did that. But when you just see him and you go over him and you get him on the bottom machine, and nothing happens,
yeah,
happening, it keeps happening, it keeps happening, then you're like, what the hell's going on?
yeah, 100% for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like then you start questioning yourself. But then it's like, you know, then you get into like now we're fishing every day now, so it's like I get to use it every day. I feel more confident with it, but at times it makes you scratch your head. You know, you're like, oh man, this doesn't look right. I don't have the right settings. You know, you're getting settings from your friends, and try this one. This is a Costa Rica setting. I used this one up here last year. It worked, and every boat's you know, like it's like having kids. You know, every kid's a different kid. You know, so every boat's a different
Yeah.
boat. So it's like, you know, you know, it's definitely frustrating, you know, and it's even more frustrating when people bash you online because, you know, you have one, you know, you're only doing that because you have a sonar. Like, dude, you know, if you had one, you'd be doing the same damn thing. So stop crying about it and go buy one, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe in, like what you said, you might have a sonar, but if he doesn't want to bite, it doesn't want to bite. If your guy
Just because you have
messes
a
it up,
sonar, just because you have a sonar doesn't mean you're going to catch the biggest fish. You may catch more fish. I'll give you multiple fish. I give you the numbers thing, but
yeah,
not the
that's a
biggest
maybe
fish.
too, because I've been in packs and down in
Yeah.
Costa Rica where I got 30 boats around us. Everybody's marking the same fish. Everybody's sonars are beeping on each
Oh
other.
my God. Yeah.
Then they pick one boat out of the whole fleet in that
Yeah.
area and only
Yeah.
bite that boat.
Yeah.
He's got the same dredge that we got. He's got the same dredge. He's got using the same size baits,
Yep.
same hook, same fluorocarbon. That's where I think, it's kind of one of the hardest things because you know what everybody's got.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same grounds. Everybody knows where everything is.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where anybody can get there because flat calm, any boat can get there.
Yep.
Everybody knows where it is. Everybody talks, and it's really all about whether they choose your boat or not.
Yep. And that's, you know, I think that you're right about that because there's a boat here, the Marley, Captain Marcus. He don't have the sonar. He has a Richie Howe boat and has C18s in it. I'm telling you, that thing will suck them up. I mean, there's days I'll go, I mean, same area. I know I fish just like he does. You know, there's a couple other captains, the same thing. And it's just like we're in the same area. And that one boat will just suck them up every time. It's ridiculous. You know, it's just like, you know, like, what are you going to do? You know, it's,
It's
it's
hard,
certain
man.
boats, man. Yeah.
It's hard to bear it. It always makes you think, oh, did I put the right engines on the boat? Did I do
Yeah.
the right kind of boat and all this and all that? But let's just be honest, man. Every single different type of boat, every single different type of engine has won a tournament.
Yeah.
Whether it be a
You're 100%
Carolina,
right. Yep.
whether it be a Viking boat, whether it be MTUs, cat engines, Mans, it doesn't matter. I,
Yep.
I truly, 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 truly always believe that good things happen to good people and everybody's got their turn. And when it's
Yep.
your turn, it's your turn.
I agree with that 100%. You're right about that. You know,
Have the biggest heavy hitters on your boat. And if they don't want to bite your boat, they're not going to bite your boat.
yeah, you're
Uh,
right. I mean, that's it. You're in it or you're not. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, you try to make every little adjustment you can do to make it happen. But definitely, I understand that
I
completely.
always like saying this little thing, and this is to close this out, but they'll put this on a hat, and I've always taken it really big to heart is luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Yes, 100%. I agree with you. That's 100%. Yep. I
Yeah,
always say that. You know,
I saw it that one time and I'm like, man, that's so fucking true because
yeah,
you're so lucky. I was prepared and they gave me an opportunity.
100%. I mean, if you're not ready, you know, that's what, you know, you teach all these mates. And, when I was young, you know, if you're ready, you're prepared, you're going to catch whatever you have, you know. You don't have to worry about crimp slipping or knots pulling or this or that, you don't have to worry about that. It's like
everything's 100%. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
yeah, yep. And that that's one thing I tell everybody. Come on a boat and like mates and everything. I'm like, listen, go test those crimps. I'll buy you whatever leader you want, whatever crimps you want, crimpers, whatever. Just make sure they're 100%. Because when we get that bite, I don't want to have to worry about nothing breaking off.
Yeah. Well, Willie, it was definitely a pleasure talking to you, man.
It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, hopefully I'm maybe trying to get a ride up to Ocean City. I got a friend of mine that needs some help. So I might see you up there, but thank you for talking.
Come check us out. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, for sure. And with this, I say good night to y'all and hope you all have a great, great, great week. Good. Catch him up tomorrow, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. See you.
Sure.